gonna move that up a little bit. All right. Good morning, everyone. I thought about, showering and brushing my hair before this morning, but why? So this one I'm excited about. It's not like there's anything groundbreaking and revolutionary about, what you're about to see. Most of you know Bugaboo. But what I'm very excited about is Bugaboo. For a lot of you who've been to my events and a lot of you who follow me here, most of you are aware that Bugaboo is how I got into this business. It was almost 11 years ago today that I started working at Bye Bye Baby. And back in 2005, when Bugaboo hit America and it was on Sex and the City, everybody was losing their minds. And the original owners of Bye Bye Baby had this idea to hire actors to come in to the store on the weekend and demonstrate product. So I was hired to rotate between a high chair and the Bugaboo frog. So back then they didn't really train us. So they basically threw me on the Bugaboo frog and they were like, figure it out. So I started playing with it and figured out the mechanics and how it all worked. So for 3 days a week, all I did was talk about the Bugaboo frog. And this is how I kind of developed my notoriety in New York. I, would do Bugaboo demonstrations, and then I learned all the other stores, the other strollers, and then slowly learned everything else in the store. So I will put the entry link up when I'm done, just like always. So that's how I got started. So for a long time, I've worked with Bugaboo on LA, up into Amsterdam to visit their offices. I love Bugaboo. I love them. And, it is, I would not say it's an inexpensive stroller, but it's one of the things I never really harp on with Bug. When you talk about their product, strollers are actually made. So a lot of stroller manufacturers actually just go to these factories and they're like, oh, I like this chassis and that color and those wheels, and that's how their strollers are designed, okay? Bugaboo is one of the only strollers that is actually engineered. So they put a ton of work into it. It's sleek as hell. I love them. Love, love, love. I'm very hard pressed. If I were to have a child right now, I would probably get a Bugaboo for my own kid. So I'm going to give you, and I've not actually done this in a while, so I'm very excited, a Bugaboo demo. And then we're giving one away. So I'm gonna have to tilt this camera down a bit. So here we go. I have other parts, and I'm not really going to be able to see comments right now. So here we go. Bugaboo is the Cameleon3, which is this model, is a modular stroller system. Now what this means is you have the ability to do the bassinet, you can put an infant car seat on, and it has the stroller seat. Now real quick, you notice these off-white buttons here on the side, okay? Everything off-white on Bugaboo has some kind of function. Sweatpants. The squares here pop the frame off. Round, you want to think of like double R, round and recline. That will recline the seat once the seat is on, and then this pops the carry handle off. Now one thing that a lot of people don't understand with Bugaboo is that it is basically a convertible frame. It is a black rectangle, okay? So for the first you know, 3 to 4 months, you're gonna be using this bassinet. Then you take all of this fabric out, which I will show you how that all works, and you basically put a slip cover on it to make it the stroller seat, okay? When I worked retail, a lot of people didn't understand that at all for some reason, and it only has one canopy because it is the same canopy for the bassinet and the seat, okay? One canopy, done. And this is actually the Classic Plus, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that once I put it all together. So really quick, I said it was compatible with infant car seats. Dependent upon what car seat you have, you get these adapters. They click right on, up, just like that, and then you snap your car seat in. Some of the adapters are bigger ring adapters. They're like a big square, so they will take up a little bit more space. These are great because you can just like throw them in a bag. They're wonderful. And if you look at the way the bassinet is built, it has these legs, okay? So you can like put it on the ground for a little bit, but this is not what we would call like floor stable or anything to use as a bassinet for sleeping overnight until now. What Bugaboo has done is they have finally made a stand for it. And when I tell you how many times my fellow employees and I used to joke about we need to build a stand for the Bugaboo bassinet because everybody in New York would try to use it for their kids to sleep in overnight, okay? You could wheel it right next to the bed if you wanted. I would never wheel a dirty stroller through the house, to be honest. So, you know, you would have to leave it in the frame. Now, there is a stand. So you basically, that's not gonna show up. There's a little stand here, and I totally left the adapters at the office, but I'll show you how this works. You can basically click the bassinet in just like this. Leave that next to the bed, take it when you travel. Great for going to hotels, going to relatives, and it clips in. The seat will also clip into that. So you can use it as like a little seat when you travel, kind of like a bouncer or something, which is really, really nice. So then this all just folds up, goes in a bag, hooray. So, real quick, I will show you, I'm gonna put this down because this is what people don't get, the Velcro. When you look at some other strollers, okay, you're going to have like a separate bassinet piece and a separate stroller seat. Now, in small places or in any place, that just means you have one more piece you have to store. Bugaboo was very, very smart when they made this like a slip cover, because that means all of this fabric just unvelcros off. And this is only something you're gonna do once per kid, so it's not like you're doing this all the time and you're gonna lose your mind. All of this just slides off, okay? Then there are bassinet arms in here that unvelcro out, and then that collapses completely flat. So you can store this very easily. Really, really, really nice feature of this. There is a mattress in here also, for those of you who are curious. And it's all quilted inside. And the quilted look is how the frog used to look. And when they discontinued the frog, oh man, what year was that? 2009, 2010 or something, maybe 2009. I thought I would never see the quilted look again. I love the quilted look on the frog. So with the Chameleon3 Classic Plus, they brought it back. So you have a quilted interior here in the bassinet and in the canopy. which I love. So, when you're done with that bassinet, you have the stroller seat fabric. All this does, you put that down, you bring this around, you've got 2 Velcro tabs. Get over here. Boop, boop, boop. Here's a fun fact, by the way. Back when I worked at Buy My Baby, I used to assemble Bugaboos for free, and I got in trouble because they used to charge people. Or 20 bucks to assemble your Bugaboo for you, and I was like, no, you just paid all this money for a stroller. I'm going to assemble it for you, because that way I can actually walk people through how the assembly works, blah, 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 blah. And one day I decided I would assemble one with my eyes closed, and I put one together. I had all the parts out of the box, and I put it together in 3.5 minutes blindfolded. So, ta-da. I have skills. So, then you have the seat. Ta-da. Now what the seat can also do is it is freestanding on the floor. So you can just leave this on the floor if you're traveling, want to leave the stroller out but carry your kid inside. That can go on the ground. So it's a very well thought out product, okay? So clips in, just like that. Going to move this up. Ta-da. So when you're looking at Bugs also have a reversible handle. Now, a lot of people use the handle incorrectly. Even though the seat is reversible, which we'll talk about, when you flip the handle, that is not typically how you want to flip the seat from parent-facing to outward-facing. That is going to change, and these are filthy because we've been using this a lot, so sorry. With the swivel wheels in front, it's easier to maneuver. So it's much easier to turn, turns on itself. Then you look at the bigger wheels in back. So if I was like walking down the sidewalk and then I wanted to go to the park, that just scared the crap out of me. My sister has lost her mind. You have the bigger wheels in front, and that's gonna give you more traction when you're going to like gravel, sand, off-roading in a park kind of situation. Then when you're back, concrete, boom, swivel wheels in the front. Now, you have 3 recline positions as well, and the seat does flip. So in the beginning, you're like, my kid is awesome, we like to talk all day. Then you get bored, and you want them to look out, flip the seat around, and they can look out while you push them down the street. It has a good sized canopy and then an extended panel, which is really, really nice. So it's a pretty big canopy there to keep the sun out of your kid's face. It almost covers their entire body. So cover them to the knees. It does have a swivel handlebar, which is nice. So you can just swivel it out of the way, get the kid up, boom, boom, pop that down. And a couple other things. Some people don't really understand with Bugaboo. It is a 2-part fold. Okay, so you have the seat or the bassinet or the car seat and the chassis. Now some people do not like a 2-piece fold. I happen to love it because instead of like a giant 27-pound stroller you have to pick up in one piece, you can detach the seat, put that in the trunk, get the chassis, put it in the trunk, and it also allows you to puzzle piece it into your car wherever you can store it. Okay, so the trick to folding a Bugaboo, and I'm wicked good at this, obviously, folding it. There are white triggers here on the inside. You squeeze that and then catch that on your foot. Okay, always, always, always catch the handle on your foot because it keeps the handle from hitting the ground over and over and getting like scratched up or dirty. So grab that, then you pop Using the square buttons, pop that off, just like that, and then lift this. It is very easy. It's not heavy at all. And then you can just kind of go for it. There are a couple different ways you can carry the actual chassis of Bugaboo around. Some people really get into doing it like this, carry it over your shoulder. If that's how you want to do it, great. There's another fun little trick though. I'm gonna turn this down. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Put the seat on the ground with the handle facing up, and then this. That way, you can pick it up all in one piece if you want to. Look how sexy that is. And it's super easy. Now, the Chameleon3, they also changed how it opens. There's no longer an automatic chassis lock. This used to lock. You need to unfold it. Kick that down. That opens up. Seat pops on, and you are good to go. Now, a lot of people don't know about that, and a lot of people don't know about the handle drop feature. I was on the Upper East Side years ago with my ex-boyfriend. We're walking around, living our lives, and these three moms were across the street, and they recognized me, and they were like, Jamie, Jamie, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm good. Walking along, I was on like 3rd Ave at 82nd. And they were going in to eat pizza at the same restaurant we were going to. True story. So we go in, and they couldn't figure out how to make their Bugaboos fit around the table at lunch. Because you have these handles that jut out of the way, you don't know what you're doing. And I said, I've got a secret for you that not many people know about. With the seat facing you over the big wheels, when you go to a restaurant, drop that handle down, then push that under the table, and it takes up no space, and they can sit at the table with you. Very, very, very easy to do. Then when you're ready to go, you pop that out, and you're like, see you, life. There's a lot this stroller can do. You have the tether here for your wrist. Very important, don't cut this off. Everybody was like, Jamie, can we cut this off? We don't like the way it looks. It's not as streamlined. I do not care. This is a safety feature for your stroller. So if you're walking downhill and you accidentally let go, you're not gonna have like Sigourney Weaver Ghostbusters going down the street and running after your kid. There's also a brake. Brake is very easy to use. You don't have to worry about mucking up your feet if you have sandals. Just push that and it's done. You also have an adjustable handle, just like that. Goes very high. Really nice wheels. The small wheels also have adjustable suspension, if you'll see that. So based on the terrain and the weight of your kid, you actually move that spring forward in the wheel to get more cushion for your cushion. I have the undercarriage basket. Now, it is not the largest undercarriage basket on the planet, but tilt this down, boop, boop. If you fill this up full of stuff, there are drawstrings. So what that means is, unlike other strollers, when you fold your stroller up and you're like, get the crap out, fold it, you can leave stuff in here when you fold the stroller up. And it stays inside. So really, really nice there. The wheels do pop off if you want the stroller to be a little bit more compact when you fold it. What else, Bugaboo? What have you done? We covered the stand. There's also a nicer attachment for their board, for the ride-along, for the back. there is a toddler board that you can clip on that has a little seat. So your kid can actually sit here while you push an infant, which is really, really nice. And they also have the runner. Now we have something else coming up with the runner in a few weeks. It's later in June. But Bugaboo made a jogging attachment. You can get it as a separate stroller, but if you already have this guy or any of the Bugaboo strollers, like the buffalo or the donkey, you can actually take the seat from your stroller and then snap it on the runner frame. So you're not having to buy a whole separate secondary jogging stroller. You get a Bugaboo jogging frame called the runner, snap the seat on, and go jogging. So there you go. What else? So like I said, this is the Classic Plus. They designed it to be more like the Frog aesthetically. You have a faux leather handlebar here. It is also the same on the carry handle right there. So it feels really, really nice. So yeah, I love Bugaboo hardcore. It is suitable from birth up to 37.5 pounds. A lot of people will just round up to 40, but technically it's 37.5. So that is a pretty full demo of the Chameleon3. I am going to put the entry link in the caption and under the video like I always do. So thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Bugaboo, for getting me into this business. And Bye Bye Baby. They're the ones who hired me. It's been a fun 11 years. And we're going to keep going as long as I can. So I'm going to log off now and go get the entry link up for you guys. So have a good one.